Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and in this video I'm going to be killing two birds with one stone with this one. I'm actually going to be making a tutorial for my media ministry on what it takes to get all of our system up and running for Sunday service, and to take y'all along with me to show you what we actually do to get everything up and running for Sunday service. So let's go. Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if y'all like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com or becoming a YouTube member by clicking the link below, the join button that is. So like I said, we've changed a whole lot of stuff here in my church, and I kind of feel a little guilty sometimes because of all the changes, and I need to update our documentation, video, as well as paperwork on how to turn the entire system on. And what better way than to do a video to do it and show you exactly what I'm doing, show my media ministry exactly what I'm doing, as well as you, but then also document that whole process. And maybe this will give you some tips as well too, because just be honest, a lot of times you have multiple different type of learners. Some people are visual, some people need to read it, some people need to see a combination of both. And hopefully this will satisfy all of those needs at the same time and give you some hints on, if you don't have anything like this, give you some encouragement to do this for your media ministry, because again, I would hope you wouldn't want to be in your media ministry forever up until you're like 120 years old, but we always need to be setting some stuff in place to train other people that are coming behind us, as well as those people who are working alongside us. So we're going to put a timestamp right here to show every time what time we would typically want this stuff to be done, and I'm going to walk you through turning on our entire video system with all the changes that we put in place. So let's go. Alrighty, so it is around 9 a.m. I would hope, and what we're going to do is go through the whole process. We're coming into the media booth door, and because of how we have our stuff set up, we have our stuff, the sound system set to these two remote buttons where we have our mics and the board on one, and then we have the house amps. So we always turn this one on first. I don't know if you heard the click. We wait 20 seconds, and then we're gonna turn on the house amps and give it about 8 more seconds. Alrighty, so I heard that last click. Now let's make our way upstairs. Now we have a bunch of smart switches that we've put in place that will handle a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead and turn the lights on. Now our sound system here, this is 1 amp, the other one is in the front of the house. We have our small tower here. Now, on our way through here, we have a smart switch back here, and we have a smart power switch, power strip, and we also have a smart switch right here. Now, because we know traditionally when everything is going to happen here at church, the video system, which this switch controls and that smart power strip back there controls, turns on everything to prime our system for video and for live streaming. This is on a schedule to always turn on at 9. So when we turned on the system downstairs, and if we got here at 9, this would have already been on. But since it's not, because this is a Monday when I'm recording this, we will go ahead and hit this switch that now turns on our Behringer to convert our sound, our ATEM, our HyperDeck, our Kramer switch that feeds the video into our projectors, our Thor broadcasting, which will send video to all the TVs that are over coax throughout the building, our converters that convert from HDMI to SDI, as well as our other one back there that goes from SDI from here, our ATEM, into HDMI, which goes to our scaler right here for our projectors, because our projectors cannot do 1080p. So again, even though when this system would be on Sunday at 9 a.m., it does not turn the cameras on. So we need to walk through and turn each camera on. Our left, turn on our projectors. That turns on all three there. We need to log in to our live streaming computer. Our board was on. We're going to log in to our presentation system. We're going to turn on our back Canon G20 camera, as well as the remote. And the converters are part of the ones that were turned on that time schedule. We're going to turn on our multi-view TV. We're going to log into our switcher PC. We're going to turn on our front Canon G20 and remote arm. Give that a second to power up. We're going to turn on our Panasonic V770. So we got this one here. And we're going to turn on our intercom system, the Mars T1000. And normally this would have been charged. And it looks like a couple of them were used, so that's fine. All right, and then we just adjust our camera right here for its placement. This was left over from first Sunday. And working our way back now, we're going to turn on our ATEM software. And here's our multi-view. Make sure that's working. Our camera. Back to our presentation system. We're going to turn on Launch Pro Presenter. All right, work our way back down here. Now we do have another camera. That is our Marshall, which is the small camera right there. I'll put an arrow on there. That is turned on when everything here is turned on, so we don't need to do that. All right, now what we're going to do, as you can see, we're getting an image from that camera. We're going to turn on OBS from our Stream Deck here. And this is our new countdown that we made in a previous video. We want to go to our streaming option here, scene, and we want to make sure we're getting the same image on OBS that we have on here. So that way we know sound is coming through. All right, so we can close this for right now. And now, because our projectors are kind of out of alignment when we start them up, we're going to go here and hit Auto PC, which will readjust our screens to center. Sometimes you got to press them twice. All right, now they're on center. And because our projectors are older, we need to adjust the brightness on here. And we're going to switch over here. And we have to crank up our brightness almost up to max. Something like that. So now our projectors are done. All right, so by now, this should have taken maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do. Not very long, but the next step we got to do is just verify our sound, and we need to switch out all of the batteries on our mics. So normally we go through this whole set of rechargeable batteries, which I'm going to go ahead and do now. Nine, 10, 11, 12. So you normally have 2 left over. All right, so we're gonna work our way back downstairs and we're gonna swap out all of our batteries. Now, one thing I did not say that we're already down here is we need to get the remote that's left here in this corner to the TV in the narthex, and we need to turn that on to make sure we're getting a signal out here as well. So if we come in here, turn that on, we just need to verify that we have a signal. Alrighty. All right, so we got a signal. So that's good. We'll return, I was gonna say return the remote back to that corner so that we always know where it is, but I'm gonna leave it there for right now. And now we're just gonna work our way through and change out the batteries inside of here and then test the sound to make sure everything is working. All right, so we got quite a few mics here. Normally we have another team that will come through and clean everything, so we don't necessarily have to do this, but obviously we're protecting ourselves here and we are not contaminate everything. Normally we wipe all this stuff down again when we are done. So we'll change these mics and go through all, there are gonna be 3 additional mics up here. Actually, it's a total of 5 that should be up here. So we're going to go through and swipe all of those, and for whatever reason, they placed them all right there. So let's go ahead and switch the batteries out. All right, all the mics have been updated, and well, the batteries have been swapped out and placed back in their place that they're supposed to stay so that we can know which zone each mic is. Gotta remind everybody, stop moving the mics all over the place. And as you can hear, gotta be careful. You can hear the whole sound system is on. So we're spot checking a couple of the mics, and that's it. Now, at this point in time, it should be maybe 9:15, 9:20 at the latest. That's if you're going really, really slow. But that's it. And we're just spot checking everything up here. Now we're going to be heading back upstairs to place these batteries back in the charger, and then we're going to start testing to make sure, do we get all of the input from ProPresenter through the system, do all the cameras register, and verify our live stream and everything like that. So let's open back up OBS one more time here. All right, so in here, we always start in our pre-live. All right, so we got that, and we're gonna open up our browser, and we want to go to our church website. Then we're also gonna go to our Facebook page, because those are the 2 places that we stream to, as well as YouTube. Not as much, but we are starting to do that more. So the idea is we just have these up because we want to verify that everything is coming through when we start the stream. All right. Now we need to go ahead and grab the scripture from whoever's preaching. One of the deacons most likely has it. We're going to put that information in. We have our lower third. We want to verify that we're getting this on as well as all of our cameras. All 5 of them are showing. They're perfectly fine. We have our ProPresenter as well as our stage display that we're not using yet. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anybody. This is mainly what we're using right now. And as you can see, we're on our static camera. We're going to come over here to our ATEM software and turn on the DSK, which is routed to do lower thirds. As a test, boom, it's showing up fine, and it's showing up fine on our projectors. So we know that this is working. All of our camera inputs are fine. And now we just place the cameras where we need them to. And that's about it right now. Normally we would also start to play some music inside of the sanctuary. Again, we don't care about copyrighted music at this point because we can play whatever we want to inside the sanctuary because we're not live streaming in any way. And even if we did start the live stream, we have our intro video, which is isolating the sound and video that's going on inside the sanctuary. But we are aware that we do not play anything that we do not have a license for on our stream in any way, shape, or form. So we have to be mindful of that. So right about now, It's about, we're just going to start troubleshooting and going through everything to make sure there are no issues. So around 9:40, we'll just jump ahead to time right now. So say it's around 9:40. At this point in time, we're doing some sound checks with the musicians. They should be here by now. Make sure we're getting balance. Everybody's in intercoms. We got the sound going through the house. So we just verifying that everything sounds clear here as well as on our stream. So we have a 15-minute timer. So we start our live stream at 9:44. So technically we should end 1 minute early, over 10 o'clock for our stream. That gives us enough time to start our stream, go to all of our platforms of choice to make sure, can we hear everything? Is everything perfectly fine? Is everything good on our website, which is Vimeo? Then we go to Facebook. Did it show up? Is it on YouTube? If it isn't, that's when we have to start troubleshooting, and most likely the issue has been that on YouTube we have to start the stream for some odd reason. Some days it starts automatically, sometimes it doesn't, so we're still working on that. But we're mainly spot checking all of those places. Primarily, we're focusing on our website as well as Facebook. YouTube is kind of like something we're still working on, but those two need to be up. If they are a problem, make sure that when we're in OBS that we have a green light in the lower right hand corner, that we have a connection, as well as we pull out our phone and verify both of those locations, not on the Wi-Fi here at the church. So that way we're using an external connection so that we can verify how everything is. All right, so now at this point, we're getting prepped for service. We're giving everybody in the pulpit and everybody inside the sanctuary countdowns. Normally, we don't want to inundate them, but we let them know at 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, and at 10, we start counting down. All right, and then at that point on our stream system, we cut over from our countdown, which should be ending, and we switch over to our live scene that cuts directly over to our video switcher that now shows whatever is on the projector screens is showing up on our stream. And then we just run through service of that, being mindful that if anything, we don't have praise dancers right now, or if anybody's playing tracks or anything, we need to be ready to go to our Be Right Back scene, which cuts all video and audio going to the live stream so that we don't have any type of copyright strikes or anything like that. Or if there needs to be a message to the house that we don't want to go out publicly, we shut all that stuff off and keep it here internally. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is at 9:45, the same time we start our live stream, we need to start the record of our hyperdeck so that we have a backup of everything here. So if our live stream goes down in any way, shape, or form, we can always upload the recording, the pure recording, to our platforms of choice after the fact. Now, this can be recorded, this can be hit by just pressing the button here, or if we go back over here to our software, there's a record button under media players, and then we can hit the record button right here as well. So we just need to be mindful also when we stop service that we stop that. All right, so at around this point, when whoever's getting ready to come up and preach, we want to come over here to OBS, and then we want to turn on our offering overlay, which will bring up our lower third with our methods of giving. Now, this will keep our live video going on. Now, this is separate. This does not show inside the sanctuary, as you can see. It is only for the live stream because we don't want to inundate that with anybody here internally, because they can just give their tithes and offerings in person if they're inside the building. But we just want to remind not just our members, because our live stream is not just for our members, it's for anybody that happens to be visiting, and it could be anybody all over the world. So we want to give people a method or a way for them to give and contribute to our ministry. So we leave that up. It's safe to keep it up the entire time, especially after scripture has been done, because it's very rare for the ministers here to keep calling up different scriptures throughout their sermon. So we normally would leave this up until maybe around the honestly, it's no harm in keeping it up the entire time during the sermon, because the sermon is normally around like 20-25 minutes. If it goes longer than that, you can take it down and leave it up back and forth sporadically. It all depends, as long as it's not annoying. The safest way to say that. And then we're going to go ahead and switch back to our regular without the lower third. And if we needed to do full screen, we could always do the straight offering scene, which does it full screen, but we really don't use that as much now in this season. But when everything is back, we might do that. But then that's about it. And then once we are done, when service is done, we're going to cut over here and go to ending and leave this up for about maybe 20 seconds. And then we're going to stop the stream by hitting the stop right there. And then we're done. And then we close this out. Now, at that same time, that's when either down here manually or on the software, we go ahead and stop the recording of the SD card. Now, for the most part, we really don't need to do nothing with that until we have some other people who are editing outside of me. But normally, whoever's editing, they would know to pull this if they need the card. Alrighty, so now that we've got all of this done, now we're going to start shutting everything off. And technically, it's almost in reverse. We're going to plug in all of our headsets, because we're not going to charge them. Our charging actually happens when we first turn this on when we get here. So we're going to turn that off, turn off our V770, turn off the remote arm to the front camera, and then turn off the front Canon G20. Now, we have a special script on our computers that shuts everything down. We just got to double click on Sunday Reboot. It will reboot in 5 minutes, and you can leave that alone. Now we're going to turn off our multi-view, repeat with this camera, turn off the front camera, close out of Pro Presenter. Yes, I want to close it. And then there's another batch file that we're going to launch to shut this computer down. Same way here. Normally there's actually a button on our Stream Deck to do this, but if it doesn't, there's our batch file as well to shut this one down. Now, as this is done, our smart switch will turn off everything video related here in the booth. If this is ever forgotten about, this will automatically turn off at 1 a.m. We want to make sure we turn this off, but as a fail-safe, if any of the video equipment was left on, as in the ATEM, our HyperDeck, any of this stuff like this, this will turn it off. So if we hit this right now, everything just turned off. All right. So this does not change the cameras that have its own power button. That still needs to be turned off. So now we're going to turn off our projector. Turn off this last camera right here. And now we're going to do this in reverse order. So the amps need to go off first. We're going to wait another 20 seconds again. And now we're going to turn off the mics and the switcher and everything like that. All right, so let's go upstairs just to verify what's happened. All right, so as you can see, both of the remotes are off. Everything in the tower is off. Everything in the mini tower is off. This stays on because this is for the Learning Center, so we don't touch that. That turns on and off automatically itself, independent of everything up here. Everything is off. And all of this is going to shut down. All right, so that's what it takes to turn everything on and off, and the routine of what we do every Sunday to turn and get everything ready for anybody who's inside the sanctuary, as well as our online broadcast in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that helps y'all, media ministry here at Antioch, or anybody else that just has been asking what is the process of what we do here. So if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer every comment. And if you have any questions, please email me at questions@ajhomes.com, and I will do my best to get to you within 48 to 72 hours. And I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, I would appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And I want to thank the patrons for making this video possible. Their names are on the screen right now. And you too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button below for as little as $4.99 a month for different perks for different platforms. And it doesn't matter which platform that you pick. Either one, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We will see you in the next video. Later.